Okay everyone, so I realized after doing one of the videos on affiliate tools that I mentioned a tool which I gave you no further information on, and that was the random agent spoofer. So this is a tool or a plugin for Firefox which lets you essentially look like you are someone else. So if you go to addons.mozilla.org and just search for random agent, here we go, and go to this and install this. Yeah, it's already installed for me, but I'll let you go through that. It basically puts a little icon in your menu bar here. I tend to always customize this since it's down here by default and put it up here because I kind of like it being out of the way. In any case, when you click on this, by default it will probably be on this tab and it will have various things selected here. I can't even remember what it selects. What you want to do is keep it on real profile by default, and this just makes it so that everything is normal and the icon is grey, indicating that you're not actually doing anything. But if you click on this, you can essentially pick a different user agent. So if you go to Windows browsers, you can make systems think you're actually a different browser on a different system, and this can kind of be useful for testing various things. For browser cross-compatibility, this is not what you would use. You're emulating a user agent, but you're not changing how your browser actually renders things, so don't try and do this. But it does let you basically fake the user agent or the browser identifier that you're using, and you can use it for some iOS systems as well, where certain systems might deliver you different content based on your user agent. Now what you can also do is go to the headers tab, and you can actually fake the IP that you're using. So I had some values in there already. What this will be on by default is this. What you want to do is tick spoof via this, spoof via that, put it to custom IP. And then here you can put custom IPs and kind of send these as headers so that certain systems get fooled by that and actually think your IP is different to what it actually is. Now when it comes to geo-targeting, most systems base it purely on your IP, and this is why we use a VPN to essentially look like we're from a different IP, from a different country and connection, which allows us to manually spy on ads and test links and so on. Now, disclaimer, this doesn't work on all systems and probably only works on a minority of systems now, but it is kind of useful because you can do spying without actually having to connect to a VPN, which makes things a lot easier. Now, what you need is an IP that matches a certain country that you want to appear that you are from. So if you just go to Google, type in something like ISP IP ranges. If you go through this list here, the one that I would suggest is this one from NIRSoft. Now if you open up that, it basically has a list here of various countries and known IP ranges. So let's go to Bulgaria, for example. And here we have a list of various ISPs and the IP ranges that are known or that are logged that ISP actually uses. If we sort by date, we can probably use ones that are a bit newer just to be more likely to be accurate. Now what you can do is use something like speedtest.net to actually show your IP. So if we open speedtest.net and refresh, let's open something like whatsmyip.org. What you'll find is that some systems are fooled and some systems are not. So this is my normal IP. If I refresh here, what is this doing? Oh, I'll turn that off and go back to real. If I refresh this here, it'll show whatever IP I have. Here you can see it's detecting my actual real IP and my network, as is the case here. But if I take one of these addresses, say this one here, and I put this in here to spoof that header, and I'll make it say that's a range, so I'm going to put 201 just because I can, that in there, and then just click out. Now be aware that this will be active if I have these ticked, so I don't actually need to change the profile here to have this active. So now that I have those active, if I refresh speedtest.net, you can see that the IP is completely changed. It is now this one, and it thinks that I'm in Bulgaria, right? If I go to what's my IP and refresh this one, as slow as it actually goes. Right, try again. Let's try another system while we're waiting on that. What is my IP? Apparently a very common search. So it doesn't fool Google. If I go to that one and that one, what do we get? That was too slow. Here we go. This one is definitely fooled, and this one is not fooled. So again, the actual systems will be fooled to differing extents depending on how they actually look up your IP. And this means that you can use it to fool ad servers on certain websites but not on others. It really comes down to you actually testing. So you're unlikely to fool tracking systems and affiliate networks, but some of them you actually will. So it can kind of be relatively useful. Here, for example, we have it's not fooled at all, but we can see the user agent here. We can probably fool the user agent. So if we go to Windows browsers and we set ourselves to Chrome, whatever this is, even though we're obviously not in Chrome, I'll refresh this. Hopefully it loads a little bit faster this time. There we go. You can see that the user agent is actually fooled. So there's a little bit of a difference there in terms of what you can actually fool. But in any case, this plugin is very, very useful because you can change these very, very quickly if you want to, and you can actually change the IP that's forwarded in certain headers very, very easily, which will fool some systems, and it's going to always be faster than a VPN because you're using your native connection, so there is no speed detriment there. So have a go with that, see if you can find some websites that you can actually use. You obviously can't use this with emulators and mobile emulation, but you can use it for desktop ad and display spying. I wouldn't try and use it on like Facebook or anything like that, but it's just a very, very handy, nifty plugin to use. Okay, that's all I wanted to show you for this module.